Indian colleges take a hefty amount, specifically the private ones take a lot of money for just 1 year, which that money would be enough to complete your 6 years of MBBS.
Correct. Hello guys, this is Jaden from Travco Education, and today I'm joined by my colleague Navashen, and we are going to know a little bit more about his story and how he has come here to SU. So without any further ado, Navashen, start by introducing yourself and a brief introduction about where you come from.
My name is Navashen Kollarangath. I come from the Indian state of Goa. I studied in Manoika school till 10th standard and then later Vidya Vikas Academy. Then later on I wanted to pursue the field of medicine, so I gave my NEET exam, and then there were a lot of options in India as well as abroad. But when I was doing this research and all, I just found that there's only one agency which is sending students to Georgia, specifically Travco. They came down to this one specific university of SU after they analyzed and went through all the infrastructure to assure the students in Goa specifically, because obviously if you're sending someone, you're giving a guarantee.
Correct.
So then I got in contact with Mr. Bruno and his team, and they suggested me that it's our guarantee in a way that we have verified the infrastructure and all the things happening in SU. After we registered, it took around 4 to 5 months, you can say, or 3 to 4 months for our visa processing and all the things to get through. And then during this process, it was really smooth of a process because, as Travco had their own, they helped us a lot in this visa processing and getting through the Georgian visa and stuff. And they also advised us a lot of things on what to carry to Georgia and what not to carry. Like they advised us to carry a lot of spices and all, as over here you don't get those spices. And they overall also helped us in understanding how the concept here works, like how the semesters are divided and when will we have a break and when will we not have a break. And honestly, everything they told us was 100% true, and like they didn't cheat or something like anything. Whatever was the situation, they told us. They promised us the whole course will be English. Till now it's in English, and like that's all assuring. Like many consultancies, they just tell you ki there will be English, but there is not.
Correct.
But in this scenario, they have honestly told us each and every detail properly, and they were quite assuring. So I came here, and honestly, the experience has been great.
That's really good to hear, and we are really happy that you are happy in your course and your education MBBS here in Georgia, and we look to help more students like yourself come here and study medicine. How would you say has your experience been from the moment you landed to maybe your first time seeing the university? How has that whole experience been?
From the moment we landed in Tbilisi, it was a great experience. This country is really nice. The infrastructure of this university, if you can emphasize on that, is really great.
Okay.
We have modernized medical equipments as well as other great teaching ways like visualized anatomy and all. I've had a great experience till date. I'm in the 6th semester right now, and it's been a great experience.
Lovely. Navashen, what has inspired you to choose the path of medicine?
There were a lot of fields when I was in 10th standard, but the intriguing thing about medical field was that you get to learn a lot first of all, and the other part is that you get to help a lot of people, and this field is constantly changing. As we know, the coronavirus which came in 2020. It's like in medical field you'll have different kinds of diseases coming, different kinds of new, you can say, research happening and all, and it's great for the mankind as a whole. So I wanted to pursue medicine to make an impact somewhere or the other in this society and at large.
That is really good to know that your major goal is to help more people, and I would say a lot of our MBBS aspirants also have a similar goal of seeing and helping more and more people as possible, because as you know, there's so much of bad going on in the world right now, and if you can do something good or if you can make a positive change, I think little by little the world will become a better place for sure. What were your initial plans for MBBS in India, and how did you select SCU particularly?
So initial plans, like everyone has, like to get a government college and to pursue medicine in India, but unfortunately my marks were not that great, and when your marks are not that great, you have a lot of options in India, but they are all private medical colleges in which you have to pay a hefty amount for the same facilities you're getting everywhere else. Then you look for something which is quite in the mid ranges or affordable range of medical education. While doing this all research and all, we landed on this country, Georgia, where there were an ample amount of options. Like we had different universities in our bucket list and all, but made us come to SCU was the infrastructure, the difference from other universities. Like, to be honest, all universities will teach you the same syllabus, but what matters is the teaching faculty, the infrastructure, and also the environment. The environment here is quite good. There is no such thing as ragging or something happening.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Very important. A lot of students, a lot of parents have never sent their child outside Goa, let alone India. So sending their child to a country like Georgia, would you say it is a safe country? And what do you think about the safety of this place?
Honestly, Georgia is like quite safe of a country. You won't have any issues. Like minor hiccups you might have here and there. That's like wherever you go, you will have this.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like overall, it's really a safe country, and the environment is also quite friendly. People are also welcoming to you. You just need to say Gamar Joba and everybody will smile at you.
And Gamar Joba is hello
In Georgian.
In Georgian.
Yeah.
Lovely. Would you say it's easy for an Indian student to settle in this environment and specifically at this university?
It is really easy to settle in this environment because honestly, if you generally talk, Georgia's weather is also quite good. It's not too cold, neither it's too hot. It's like a variation from Indian, you can say, hot climate to a variation of 1 degree, 2 degrees of cold climate, specifically this area, if I mentioned. The environment is friendly, the teachers are English speaking, and most of the staff also knows a mixture of Georgian and English. So its communication is also easy, and you have a lot of people from different countries coming, different states coming here. So you get to, mix with other people, and it's like you're forming a different community out here.
Navashen, moving on, what would you say about the curriculum that this university follows, and more so about the modern facilities that the university has?
So when we talk about the curriculum, this university specifically follows the American curriculum and also to a certain extent the European curriculum, which are like overlapping at different extents. There you don't need to be tensed about things like you're going to an abroad university and they might not follow the proper rules and regulations, because from the very beginning, from the first sem, if I'll tell you, we have followed all the proper rules and regulations given by the American Council. So that's the plus point over here, because you won't see a teacher bowing down to any kind of pressure from students or anything that you can give as easy marks. No, the evaluation is strict and it's following all the required criteria. When we talk about this corruption thing, it's like zero only. Overall, it's zero.
It's
like
zero corruption.
You won't find that anywhere in Georgia, and specifically if we talk about SU, so there's no little bit chance also of you finding it here, because teachers are strict. It's like if they are doing corruption, they say they are cheating with their own profession by doing this, because they all are practicing doctors in different hospitals, and also that's why they can't cheat their own profession.
And you've been here for 3 years now, almost coming up to 2.5 years now?
Yeah.
Yes. Have you been able to get any clinical exposure? When we see SU, they say they have a lot of 3D classes and 3D anatomy and all that. Could you tell us how has your experience been with their modern facility?
Our experience has been quite great. Like we have the simulation lab where they teach us different clinical, you can say, techniques. Like there are many simulation labs. One is on the 3rd floor, one is on the ground floor, the newly made one which you saw.
Yeah.
These all have, you can say, mannequins where we can practice and all, and also observe natural phenomena in a really great way, so that you understand each and every process which is happening in a simple thing such as, abdominal examination or, kidney palpation. All are mannequins, but you are having a real life experience, because what happens in a real body is being shown to you properly.
Inside out.
Inside out, exactly. And when you talk about the 3D Anat lab and all, they also are really great places. Education is gone to another level now.
Yeah.
With the coming of AI and all this 3D stuff, they are making us understand each and everything properly and in a better manner in these Anat labs, where they make us 3D, like help us in visualizing each and every part in a 3-dimensional scenario. Yeah.
So just to share with you all as well, today I had gone to the simulation lab and a teacher allowed me to be part of the class. And I was really happy to see that they had the subject of gynecology, that is childbirth, and they actually showed the inside of the body, how the child is, and actually how the whole process takes place at childbirth. Now these things are not there in India, these kind of dummies and technology that the children and the students are exposed to. So I was really happy to see that the students have been able to visualize it in this kind of environment and setting, and the teachers are also going in depth to be able to teach it more easily to the students. So, Navashen, what would you say is the affordability for somebody coming to Georgia? What would be their living expenses, and how would that be compared to anybody, say, studying in India?
Over here, when you come, you will have that accommodation facility. That's like if you're taking a hostel or a flat, that depends. A hostel basically starts from $260 and it goes above depending on the number of people staying in the room.
Correct.
Flats also start from around $400 and they vary as per the number of people staying and the number of rooms. So that is a variable cost, you can say. But overall expenses over here would come to around 100 to 150 you can take at large. With all the facilities like internet, your normal groceries and stuff, they'll come to $100, $150. If you see overall, you're saving a lot. Because for the same facilities in India, you will be paying a hefty amount in your college fees and at the same time saving on your accommodation and other living expenses. But when you look at this at large, it's quite cheaper than India, and that everything over here, you have Indian restaurants over here, like if you want to eat something Indian and all.
Yes, I was just walking on the streets yesterday and I seen so many Indian restaurants. I was like, it more felt like India when I was walking on the streets, because you know our Indian food have strong spices which you can smell.
Exactly.
So I'd seen the restaurants and I was very happy to see the restaurants. Would you say it's safe to say you could finish your MBBS here in Georgia for the same fees that you would pay for 1 year for private in India?
It is safe to say that. As I told you earlier, Indian colleges take a hefty amount, specifically the private ones take a lot of money for just 1 year, which that money would be enough to complete your 6 years of MBBS.
Correct. A lot of our students had this question: if they couldn't get in their NEET first attempt, their question would be, should they take 1, 2 or 3 years drop, or should they come to Georgia?
So honestly, if you are missing by few marks in your first NEET attempt, you can take a second chance, because you know few marks are not a big thing. If you're getting between 350 to 400 or something, you should think of coming to Georgia, because if you're giving a second attempt, it's not sure that you're going to get above that marks.
Correct.
The basic thing over here is you should have confidence on yourself.
Correct.
If you have confidence on yourself, you have passed NEET. Look, NEET passing is around
130 as of today, 137.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
So once you have crossed that, you come under the eligible category. So it's not like you're not eligible.
Yes.
So once you're eligible, a lot of people go for private colleges and all.
Correct.
So if you can go for private colleges, why not try these colleges which are abroad and giving you better facilities at a price which is very good and stuff.
And affordable.
Affordable, exactly. So it's better in the first attempt itself to look for private colleges, specifically abroad. I'll say Georgia or any other country where it is safe and equivalent to India also.
Yes, and there are a lot of Indian students in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, and even now, just to clear, are you aware of the next exam?
Yeah.
So previously there used to be FMG, but now with next, it is so that no matter you study in AIMS, GMC or in Georgia, after you finish MBBS, to be able to practice in India, every student has to give the next exam. So in a way, if you know that you cannot complete or score highly in NEET, it's better to come here, because the end result of medicine is going to be the same. You'll all will have to answer next if you plan on practicing medicine in India. So putting more than 2 years giving NEET would not be the best decision, because MBBS is not a 3-year course or a 4-year course. It is a 6-year course, and it is also just MBBS. People mostly want to go for further studies, which is another 3 to 4 years. So starting MBBS early on is probably the best option for you to finish early and start practicing as a doctor sooner. Navashen, a last question would be, if you had to give one message to any student looking to come to Georgia to study MBBS, what would that be?
To all the students who are thinking of coming to Georgia with Travco or any other consultancy, I would like to tell you only one thing. Georgia is just like your second home. It's safe. There are no such thing as crime or ragging happening in this university and stuff. And it's really a good environment for your future prospects in medicine. And it really gives you a great early start, and even helps you learn a lot of things such as independent decision making, because you're away from home. It also gives you an understanding of how the world functions in a different scenario, and makes you matured enough to think about your future in countries like UK, US or any other European country. Don't hesitate and just come to Georgia with Travco.
Thank you so much for your time, Navashen. This session would really help a lot of students on the edge of that decision. So I thank you for your time, and all the best to you for your future.
Thanks for having me, Jaden.